So I know you two are part of Spidey's Little Rogues Gallery, but how would you ladies like to go out with a real web shooter? If you know what I mean here. Wait a second, my spider senses are tingling. Could it be? Is it my time to shine, finally? For the love of Christ.
What's up, guys? Today we're finally taking a look at the Maximum series Deadpool because he keeps whining for me to review him.
And it's about damn time, too. With that being said, review my totally more Maximum than Spidey figure, and let's get this show on the road.
Alright, Deadpool, but, first, before we even get into even reviewing you, we gotta take a look at your packaging. So, this is his packaging here, and it looks pretty good. This is the Maximum series Deadpool packaging, and it looks pretty nice. Um, It's pretty much the same as the other Maximum series packaging, but there is little differences, like the little kind of crayon marks and everything going on here, just kind of give it that Deadpool flair. He still has some accessories in there just because there's a whole lot of them. I just didn't take them out yet. Um, and then here we have the top of the box here with some more Deadpool scribbling, and we got Deadpool on the side there. And then on the back, we got another awesome look at Deadpool at the back here too as well. Noticing the other accessory figure doesn't have any printing on his body, which is strange. But yeah, and on the side here we got Deadpool again. On top we got more Maximum series Deadpool logoing and whatnot. Again, awesome packaging for the Maximum series. Am I a fan of the pricing? No, but we're here, aren't we?
Okay, we get it. Nobody cares about no stupid-ass packaging.
Alright,
Just
Jesus,
review me
Deadpool, I am.
already.
God, so impatient. But here we have Deadpool. So we're going to take a look at his details, and then we'll take a look at some of the other stuff he comes with. So starting off with details here, he's quite nice. I do think he's quite nice looking. Does have a very comic-based appearance. Uh, I do love the little silver bits on his body and everything. Very nicely painted belt and pockets and everything. Every single little belt has the little silver paint that it needs. This is a very nice body. I'm pretty sure this is a new body. I have not seen this body used much before. Maybe some parts and pieces I've seen used before. But as far as the base body goes, I don't think I've seen this before. I'm pretty sure it might be new. This almost reminds me of the Amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool, I believe, is what I'm trying to reference. We have the nice pinless joints and everything. This figure is a very, very smooth figure. You got toe joints and everything here. Uh, Very nice paint job all around. Pretty basic, but still a very clean Deadpool. You got nice looking painted shoulders and biceps and everything. One of my favorite Deadpool designs, to be honest. And he does look quite nice. Got these scabbards on the back here and everything. Those are rubbery. And of course, you do got the little straps for the swords and everything. Then you got a nice looking little head sculpt, but we'll go over accessories and head sculpt here shortly. But this is just admiring some of the sculpt work for this figure, and he has some nicely sculpted shoes. Overall, I really do like the way that this figure looks. Got some gun holsters and everything too on the sides. Very nice little bracers. I'm sure I've seen those before. But overall, looking quite good. Definitely a really good Deadpool design, and that is definitely some good Maximum effort from Hasbro.
So much better than that washed-up QC-written not-so-Maximum Spidey, am I right? Or am I right? Now talk about my accessories, white boy.
Alright, I'm getting to it. Alright, here we go. Well, let's talk about Deadpool's accessories. So, as for hands, he does come with a pair of fists. He also does have a pair of sword-holding or knife-wielding hands. He also does have a pair of trigger finger gun-holding hands. And he also does have a pair of pointing finger hands, as to which one of the hands is slightly altered with the thumb just a little bit to do kind of a little, gun kind of emote. And then he also does come with a thumbs up hand and a peace sign hand.
Don't ever say I don't got hands, 'cause you can clearly see I got hands, so suck it, Spidey.
Alright, anyway, continuing, as far as head sculpts go, you do have the regular base Deadpool masked sculpt here. It does have the little thing in the back, and it's a pretty nice sculpt all around. Has nice line sculpting for the mask seams, and the eyes are fairly painted pretty cleanly. As far as the other head sculpt he does come with is a slightly masked up head sculpt, so you do get a look at that butterface underneath the mask, and it's a pretty nice looking head sculpt. It's painted pretty well. Has a slightly different expression with the eyes. Nothing too crazy, but you do get to have that kind of slightly unmasked look.
I might have a butterface, but this face has had more play than Cable and Wolverine combined.
I'm only very slightly regretting this review. Anyway, as for other accessories he does come with quite a bit of weapons. So, first off, he does have his two pistols. They're both the same mold, and you do get two of them. They're sculpted quite nicely, and you do get two pairs of those. So I'll just put those off to the side, and we'll just take a look at every gun. It does come with an AK-47, so you do get a very accurate looking AK-47. It does have like some wraps on it in the back there. Quite a nice gun. It's very nice to have like actual guns. So here we have an AK-47. You can use this with a lot of different characters. I use this with Punisher and everything, and yeah, you can use this with pretty much any character you want. And yeah, it's just nice to have an AK-47.
And don't think I've forgotten about that either. I don't want that depressed lunatic Frank Castle touching my pew-pews ever again, and I mean it!
Alright, Deadpool, I get it. We already went through that. Anyway, next up, he has an LMG. So we do get a freaking LMG with Deadpool here. It's pretty nice. Nice looking LMG. You can see the bullets on the side there, which is pretty cool. It's got this green bullet chamber thing here. I believe this is a carryover from G.I. Joe classified series. Not 100% sure, but it could be. This part does not move down. The stock area does not move down, unfortunately. But it is a nice, well, fairly nice looking sculpted LMG, so you do get that. And then, as far as the last gun you do get, is this laser rifle, which I know exactly what this is from. This is from an old Deadpool comic cover from a while ago, a long time ago, I believe in the 90s. But this is a really nice addition to this Deadpool, and it is quite a nice looking weapon. Got a little bit of orange there and some silver on the mag. Sculpted pretty nice, got the scope on there and everything. Overall, nice looking little, gun and everything, so you do get that as well. As for swords, you do get two katanas. They are a bit short and stubby, which does kind of suck. I know these are carryover from, I believe, the retro card Deadpool. Um, so yeah, we got the two swords, and then you have a knife too as well that I believe is a carryover. I'm not 100% sure, but it's very possible that it will be or is. So you do get that little knife there. You do also get some blast effects for those weapons and everything, so you can kind of just take it and plug it into the front. So you can have some blast effects, and you do get one for each of the big guns here. So I'm just kind of putting this on if it wants to go in. There we go. So you got blast effect there. Then for the AK-47 there, same thing, except you just got to hold the barrel on this one because it is a bit skinny. There you got that. And then the pistols, though, are not blast effect compatible, which does kind of suck. So you can't really do that on those, but you can do it on the main rifles and LMG and whatnot. Next up, what you get is a stick of dynamite. So you get this. It's pretty nice. Gets a little wick that is on fire there, or sparking up. So you do get a little stick of dynamite, which is pretty nice. And then you do get a chimichanga, which, oh shit, which Deadpool is very, very well known for enjoying and everything. And then after that, you do get a little dupe accessory. This is nice, I guess, to have. Just a little accessory. It's kind of funny, just spin them around. But you do get this nice dupe. He does have some pretty decent wash on him. Painted pretty nice. I forgot which specific version of dupe this is, but I know it is a version, and he does have this clear stand that you can take off of him if you want. But you're mainly going to have the stand on him since he doesn't stand on his own. He does have some little articulation, so you can move the arms around, and they are on hinges too as well. So you can move them around and hinge them as you wish and everything. So a little bit of articulation, not too bad. But as far as that goes, that is all that Deadpool does come with as far as accessories. Now I'm just going to kind of show you how they really go in him and everything.
Hey, careful how you're grabbing me. You didn't let me say my
So,
safe
bringing
word yet.
Deadpool.
You better not drop me. And you drop me nice. Also, where the hell are my hands?
On over. I took your hands off because I got to show the accessories. So, the knife, of course, we will put his. We will give him his sword holding kind of hand here, like that, and then we will put in a trigger finger hand for him for the guns. So he will only get 2 hands right now.
Oh, this is so unfair.
Well, this isn't supposed to be fair. This is a review. Anyway, starting off with the knife here, you can just put it into his hands if you want to as well, and that just kind of fits right on in there. It's a bit of a snug fit, but there he is with the knife in the hand, and then taking it out, it's a bit snug. If you don't want to have him hold it, you can just put it in his boot sheath on the side, so it just fits right in there. Same thing with the swords here. The swords also fit in the hand as well. Again, very tight fits, but that's how he looks with the sword in the hand and everything. A little bit stubby of a sword, but what can you really ask for nowadays, I guess? Yeah, you're right about that one, Deadpool. Anyway, putting these swords in, you just put them right into the back, like so, and both of them will store quite nicely in those sheaths. And there you go. You got him suited up with his swords and knife and everything. And then, if you really want to as well, here are his pistols. And as you would probably guess, they do go in his trigger finger hand. So you're just putting that in there, and then porting that in, and there you go. He has his pistol in his hand there, and of course all the other guns fit in the same way in his hands. I will show a lot more of that during post-test and everything. But if you don't want them holding the guns, you can just store them. So you have this holster on the side right here that goes right on in. You just kind of put it in there like so. It slides right on in. Same thing with the other pistol here. So you take this, slide it in. It fits right in nicely right there. And there he is, all suited up with his weapons and such. And then these will kind of just fit into his gripping hands if you want it in the knife holding hand like that. And then you could also put, maybe the chimichanga in his uh, gun holding hand if you really wanted to as well. So he can pretty much do a bit of both.
So, if you really want to know, I can eat and blow stuff at the same time, both on the battlefield and in the nearest gas station bathroom. Ain't that something? But I have one problem. Why does Spidey get 3 heads and I get a giant green floating booger? I've sent so many letters to Hasbro asking for an extra head, or hell, even Rogue or Psylocke's panties would have been nice, but did they listen? Hell no!
Anyway, now that we've taken a look at accessories, let's take a look at his articulation. So, going over articulation here, as far as the head goes, can go down about that far, which is pretty good. You can go up about that far, and then there is a double ball peg here and a double ball peg there, so you do have some neck range. So you can look to the side about that far. You can look to this side about that far. Head does go with full 360. His butterfly joints go forward about that far, back about that far. He can look or raise his arm up about that far there, and then going back down, spinning the arm a full 360. he can totally do. His biceps are a bit on the gummy side, which does kind of suck, but he does have bicep rotation, double jointed pinless elbows, the usual hinge and swivel for the wrist, like all legends usually do. And then, as far as the waist goes, he does have a top diaphragm that can go side to side, about that far. And then you can, fully rotate around with it as well. And he does have a lower ab crunch, so he can crunch forward about that far, and then crunching back, he can go about that far. So all in all, he's pretty posable from the waist up. How about from the waist down? As for the legs, he does not have drop downs, which does kind of suck. But he can kick forward about that far. Kick back, not so much. Can split out about that far. And then he does have a thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees, and then a calf cut. His foot cannot really go forward too much, but about that far. Go back, pretty much that far down. Does have ankle pivot and a singular toe joint. So, all in all, he's pretty decently posable for a Deadpool figure. And he's pretty on par with Maximum Spidey in some regards, but all in all, pretty decently posable.
I'm so posable, I'd make even the best pole dancing gal lose her job cause of me. Anyway, I'm sure y'all are waiting for the pose test, so let's just get right into it. Take it away, emo boy. Deadpool. 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 They call me Deadpool, I'm hella fast. Kick a murk the bad guys and get some ass. Got blades for days, got guns galore, got combo moves, evades and more with bear traps and hand grenades. Pull the pistol like a maniac right in your face. Popping off caps, leave a trail of guts. Sitting on my chair, scratching my nuts. I can't die, I'm invincible, but if you like to try, then I'll crush your skull. Crass and rude, borderline obscene, but I'm the funniest motherfucker that you ever did see. And Wolverine is getting bitch slapped. Wake up, Wolvie, no time for a nap. We got a rescue road, ride a roller coaster. Grab our gear and head to Genosha. Deadpool. 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 So I hope you goobers at home enjoyed my poses. I could have posed more, but I gotta be in good shape for that top 10 figure of the year video. Anyway, here's the edited photo of me doing a homage to one of Spidey's comics. Even though good old Spidey is mad, I keep doing them.
Deadpool, that was supposed to be my line for the the video.
Well, my bad. I was under the assumption that I was the star of the show. I forgot I'm just a cameo in a low-budget production. I need some new damn agents.
So, anyway, before Deadpool tried to steal the show a little bit there, let's get into the scale of Deadpool here. So, we'll start with his, some other heroes here. So here he is next to the Marvel Legends Iron Man here. Decided to follow me, but the 20th anniversary Iron Man. There he is next to Iron Man. And then here he is next to the Capcom Captain America. What he looks like next to Cap there. And then here he is next to some baddies. So here he is next to Mary Jane here from the 90s series. And then here he is next to a very old Marvel Legends Black Cat. So there those ones are. And then, of course, here he is next to his other counterpart in the Maximum series line, the Maximum series Spider-Man. Now, these are the only two Maximum series figures that I picked up, and unfortunately it might look like maybe the Maximum series might start to kind of fade away just due to the price. Although if they keep pushing out more, I would definitely love a Black Suit Spider-Man and a Venom and hopefully a Carnage. Those would be great. I'd definitely pick those up. But there we go for that there. And then finally, just for the hell of it, here he is next to SH Figure Arts, Deadpool.
So, you excited for the Figure of the Year video, huh?
Yeah, actually I'm pretty excited. It's been a long time coming. Just the thought of it makes me soaking wet.
Well, I don't mean to, we'll be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think you're gonna reach the top 10, pal. I'm your replacement on the channel for cameos. Plus, this figure version of you kinda sucks. Like, a lot.
What the hell are you even talking about? I've been here as a cameo since the start of this channel. No way you're my replacement. I need to get in contact with my agent. Plus, okay, I admit this version of me isn't the greatest, but another version of me came out this year that's a lot better than this one. It just hasn't been reviewed yet, and will definitely beat you on the top 10 video. Just you wait.
Keep thinking that, buddy. Good luck, though. Live action me, you had a good run while it lasted.
Anyway, while those two bicker back and forth, I guess I'll just close off with my final thoughts. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent Maximum Series entry. I really do like this Deadpool quite a bit. It does have some issues. I feel like there could have been a little bit more range with the legs, although there's a lot of things that are hindering his legs. His ankle movement and everything does have a small little bit of issues here and there. He does have those gummy biceps, which does kind of suck a little bit. Other than that, I think he comes with a pretty good amount of accessories. I do wish the swords were a bit longer, but other than that, I really do love his accessories. I also wish that the pistols could take blast effects, but unfortunately they can't for some reason. I don't know why they made it not able to do that. I think it's a really great Deadpool design. It's definitely more of his, like, 2000s design rather than his 90s design. Definitely would have loved a 90s design, but this does kind of slightly remind me of the Deadpool game version of Deadpool. I really do like this figure. I think he's pretty great. Has some issues. I do kind of wish maybe instead of the dupe figure he came with maybe an extra head, but other than that, pretty decent figure. I guess we'll see him in the figure top 10. Anyway, with all that being said, hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow my Insta for more action figure pics, and I'll catch you guys in the
I've heard it 1,000 times before, and it's just not that funny anymore.